Hey guys, it's Danny Walker with Foam All Spray Installation, where we service new construction, remodels, residential, and commercial buildings. We do concrete lifting, erosion control between the seawall and the soil. We do attic blown-in cellulose, insulation removal, and sump pump and drain tile installs. But primarily what we do is closed cell spray foam installation like you see on these exterior walls of our shop. We're over here in Marine City, Michigan, and let me show you some of the cool things that we can do with spray foam. Now I can tell you that most of the time when I'm spraying foam, I'm doing exterior walls of residential house or commercial building. Crawl space encapsulations are another huge one. I've done some attic ceilings from the top side down to the drywall, duck boats, and some really cool things I've done, art projects. I sprayed a whole moon landing, so I did the moon to give it some structure. I've also done stage props, an Easter resurrection scene for a play that a church was having where they had a rollaway stone in the resurrection tomb and other foam props. I've done this cool mushroom here. This is one of the coolest things I think I've foamed personally. It's one of my favorites. We made this for the trade show to get some attention, and we also did, if you can see way behind me there, that's an Easter Island head. I'm going to give you a close-up of that, guys, in a little bit. Let's talk about some things that some reasons why spray foam is so great. Now, spray foam has different densities, right? They have a low density foam. That's kind of what you would find in a door or window. There's a product called open cell foam. That's also a low density foam. Mine's a mid-grade density foam. It's closed cell, and they also have high density foams that they use for, say, roofing or concrete lifting. I do the closed cell for exterior walls. The foam that I spray has an R value of 7 per inch. It's superior to other products on the market like cellulose or fiberglass insulation, which roughly have an R value of 3.5 per inch. My foam is an air sealant and a vapor barrier. For instance, fiberglass acts more as an air filter. So if you ever done some removal of fiberglass in your basement or crawl space rim joists, you'll find out that it has a lot of dust particles flying off of it. And it's not just the fiberglass dust coming off, it's all the air pollutants filtering through your cracks in your wall and collecting inside of that air permeable filter. It's not a great product in my opinion. So with it being an air sealant and a vapor barrier, it really allows for your HVAC and ventilation systems to work more efficiently. Our foam also doesn't sag or settle over time, and deters rodents, mice, and other pests from getting into your space. It's just such a dense foam that they don't really want to mess with it. If you can check it out, this foam is so hard to touch. It actually adds about 300% structural integrity to your space. So this building is really tight and really strong now because of the foam that we were able to spray along this entire building. So right now I'm in front of a mock-up wall that we built for the home show last year, and I just wanted to talk about some of the inconsistencies that you could potentially see in your wall cavity anytime in its lifetime. Temperature is a huge one. If the temperature of the foam is too hot or cold coming out of the gun, you got a problem. If the wall's too hot or cold, you got a problem. If the air is too wet, like the humidity is too high, or your wall's too wet, you're gonna have a problem. It's so important to hire somebody who's certified. I myself hold a master installer certification, and the next level up is project manager. You can also have an off-ratio mix. If you shoot an off-ratio chemical, meaning it has more of one side of the chemical than the other, it can be a hazardous thing. So you really want to hire somebody who knows what they're doing. Now I want to give you guys a little tour of my trailer over here, but before I do, I want to show you the Easter Island head real quick. I'm about 5'9", so if you guys want to, I'm only up to his mouth right now. This thing's about 15 foot tall. It's one of the coolest things that I've ever foamed. So anyways, let's move on. Okay, so when I pull up to a job site, I need to be 200 foot minimum from wherever the furthest point of the job is. I have 200 foot of spray hose here, 100 foot of power cord for my air machine with 100 foot of air line. This is my supplied air respirator right here. It's got a tear off shield like that. Oh, hold on a second. Boom. So you can see these tear offs come in really handy. They catch a lot of overspray. I actually am getting kind of ahead of myself. So the way that we power this trailer, we do it through shore power, meaning that we have to plug into the breaker panel. So we need to be 200 foot minimum away from the breaker panel as well as the furthest point of the spray area. Now that we're in the trailer, I told you heat, temperature is a huge factor in whether or not I can do my job properly. So let's start with the barrels. Okay, so this is an A component. This is isocyanate, and this is the resin. Both of these drums need to maintain between 70 and 80 degrees storage. So right here I have 4 barrel blankets, right? So I put those over. They're like a jacket for my barrels, and they maintain 80 degrees. But right now I don't have anything on these barrels, obviously, because it's been really warm out. Let's move on to the proportioner, right? So behind this shield right here, this plastic covering, there's heating elements that will heat the chemical coming in through here into the proportioner, down through a heating element. Then my hose, 200 foot of hose, is all heated too. When I'm spraying, I wear a full body suit, right? This is a reusable suit I've been using for a while. It's probably time to throw this one in the trash. But I also have, the Tyvek disposable suits. You don't want to get this stuff on you, and it does get everywhere. But so what I'll do is I'll wear the full suit. I'm gonna wear gloves, full face mask, either my supplied air one that I showed you earlier or a cartridge mask. Okay, so I told you what I do. Now let me tell you what my helpers do. They're the guys that go in and do all the prep, right? They're gonna cover your windows, they're gonna cover your doors, they're going to mask off electrical boxes with some of this blue masking tape right here. I got this blue tape, I got red sheathing tape, and this is some heavy duty tape that we use in our crawl spaces to tape all the seams in our crawl spaces. My helpers are going to go in and cover everything that doesn't want foam on it. So they've done all the prep. They can foam around the windows and doors with your door and window foam. Put caulk down around all your sill plate and any sistered stud, anywhere you got a cluster of studs together that my foam's not going to get into, they'll do it with the caulk or the can foam. They also use these little things here called curry combs, right? You might notice these if you ever been on the farm working with horses, because that's exactly what these are. These are horse combs, but they're really good for scraping away bump outs that happen, because it's not a science to get the depth of this foam. You just got to really trial and error, and over some experience you're going to figure out how to reach certain depths, and once you do, it's super satisfying, and I love my job. I really do. It's a lot of fun to once you learn how to spray good and you don't have to worry about bump outs happening all the time, and you can get it to look nice and flat like this. It's super satisfying and rewarding, and your helpers they love their job too, because they're not busting their butts scraping with these horse combs all day. Another way that they get the foam off the walls is with these scrapers right here, scraping right up the stud faces. It works really good. They have pneumatic and electric tools also that we can use, but just being kind of proficient in what I do, there's no need for us to have that kind of equipment. Since I'm down here, I want to show you, this is where we combine barrels, right? So we have these funnels. So these funnels will go in here, and the computer inside my trailer shuts off my flow of chemical to my gun when I'm at 5 gallons or 7 gallons or whatever I set it at. I'm able to bring those barrels out here and dump them over until I eventually have another full barrel of chemical that I can roll up into this trailer. That's really about all I have for you guys today. There's a lot more to our job that we can talk about, so feel free to reach out to me and ask me any questions that you might have. But for now, that's it. This is Danny Walker with Foam Wall Spray Installation, and we'll talk to you guys later.